It's no use. Give up.
Alright, so what is going on, guys? Is your boy Nistro here, coming at you guys from the Yugiverse with my infiniTRACK train deck profile. With infiniTRACKs, you actually have a lot of options. Trains are a lot more limited, but the thing is that trains is probably your like OTK engine. So trains are like kind of like they're good, but at the same time they're not as versatile as something like infiniTRACK is. And so it does kind of contradict with the deck having different levels and all this and that. But at the same time, it doesn't, it does kind of work half the time as well. So I'm just going to give you guys my build, starting off with Triple Trencher. He's my favorite monster to machine dupe because you get 3 level 5s and you go into easy rank plays, and then you can banish him from grave and special summon an infiniTRACK monster from graveyard as well. So next we do have the triple Harvester to your Searcher, and you don't really use Harvester's level change effect that often. Honestly, I don't remember last time I did, because your level 5s, you're not really trying to go into rank 7s, and you're usually 9 times out of 10 you're going to use them for a link summon more than anything else. So and your third best infiniTRACK is your Anchor Drill. When he's normal summon, you special summon infiniTRACK from hand. He's real easy. He's real nice for the rank 4 plays. He's real nice for making rank 9s as well. But honestly, I don't make rank 9s that often. That's never really my goal. Usually going first, my goal is either Cyber Dragon Infinity and like River Stormer and stuff like that, or going second, my goal is to make a rank 10. Into your other infiniTRACKs, your last 2, you play 1 Crab Crane, or I play 1 Crab Crane, 1 Drag Shovel. You can play more of these if you want, but because I'm mixing it with like multiple engines, I feel like keeping it minimalistic is really a good thing to do. Honestly, you don't need these, but they're just good to have for very particular reasons. Before I go into trains, I'm going to go into my one little tech card, my Ancient Gear box. So when he's added from your deck to your hand, which you have multiple cards that can search, you can either add a monster with 500 attack or defense from your deck to your hand. It has to be an Earth Machine with 500 attack or defense from your Earth to your hand. Trencher has 500 attack, Anchor Drill has 500 defense, and Crab Crane also has 500 defense. And so because of that, let's say you go into a River Stormer, you search him, then once you search him, then you can search something like an Anchor Drill. Then Anchor Drill can normal summon himself, special summon box, and then you can overlay into a rank 4. Or, you can do other things. He also has less than 500 attack, so if you want to play multiples of him because you're playing machine duplication, you can do that as well. But personally, I never thought that would be a good idea because I don't want to brick into him. I always want to search him. I never want to hard draw into him, which is why I only run 1 copy. So, Ancient Gear box. With our triple flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede, special summons a Earth Machine from your graveyard in defense mode, and then you can either target him and change levels so that the other monster becomes his level, or he becomes the other monster's level. So he's real good for making rank 10s. And just a real convenient card because he can also activate his effect when he's special summoned. So you're going to be using him a lot. He's probably one of your, he's one of the best cards you want to open with. Like, you always want to see him. Next, we have triple Derricane. Derricane, trained players already know what Derricane does. Special summons himself pretty much when you summon like any other monster in your deck. And then when you overlay him and you detach with him, you can pop a card on the field. So it's pretty convenient. And lastly, we do play the 2 Bullet Trains. Bullet Train, I used to play him at 3, but unfortunately, Platinum Gadget is a light type monster, so it does get in the way of his own effect. Sometimes you're going to have to summon him off of Anchor Drill because you're playing some of these other monsters. Other times, it's like, yeah, he can just special summon himself. So if you special summon him during the right time in your combo, then it can be very helpful, but at other times he can be very constricting, which is why I play him at 2. But ultimately, he's still a level 10 that can special summon himself, and he does have a good end phase effect, so I'm definitely not cutting him out anything lower than 2 anytime soon. Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragon Nashter and the reason why you play him is because you have multiple monsters, not just your Harvester, but your Crab Crane and your Drag Shovel. When Nashter, what you can do is you can drop another machine type monster from your hand and then special summon him. And then when he's normal or special summoned, you can special summon a machine type with either 2100 attack or defense from your graveyard. So essentially, if you draw a Nashter and you draw Harvester, you can drop Harvester, special summon Nashter, Nashter's effect, special summon Harvester, and then Harvester's effect, search an infiniTRACK monster from your deck to your hand. And then pretty much you get 2 monsters on board and to search a infiniTRACK monster without using your normal summon. So it's pretty cool. And as I mentioned earlier, you're gonna have you have cards like Railroad Stampede. You have cards like Anchor Drill. You want to save your normal summon for monsters like those, monsters that are really important. You don't really want to use your normal summon on stuff like this, like smaller monsters, because they're not as important. And so if you can kind of get yourself in that situation, that's when you can kind of build up more resources and more monsters on board and go deeper into your deck and get more searches. Now, Drag Shovel and Crab Crane, they both also have, like, Drag Shovel has 21 defense, Crab Crane has 2100 attack. So Crab Crane can be searched by both Nashter and by Anchor Drill, and Drag Shovel is just here because you can special summon off of Nashter as well. So very, very convenient that these monsters have 2100 either attack or defense. But because we're playing Nashter, we also have to play regular Cyber Dragons. And the reason why we play regular Cyber Dragons is because Machine Dupe, when Cyber Dragon Nashter is on board, his name is treated as Cyber Dragon. So unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to summon the other 2 Nashters from deck. If you were to Machine Dupe a Nashter, you would have to summon actual Cyber Dragons. So and it's honestly pretty cool because Cyber Dragon gets to you get to overlay these 2 and then make your River Stormer, make your Nova, make your whatever. So it's pretty cool. And then lastly, we have the 2 Kaijus. Attribute your opponent's monster. Then if you have a Cyber Dragon or if you have a Nashter, then use their monsters to go into one of the Chimera techs. Or just tribute their monster, then go into something like a Leeb. If they have a problematic monster on board, now they don't. So I'd rather them have one of these than have a problematic monster. In all honesty, you can play any Kaiju, but you're only playing him because you want to use Chimera Tech with him, and because he's also level 10. So if you do end up drawing into 2 of them, you can use one of them for your own field and start up those rank 10 plays. We got Triple Urgent Schedule. It's your best opener going second. I'm sure you guys already know it does, especially summon 2 machines from your deck. And then it's really plus the 2 that I like to summon the most is just a Trencher and a Harvester, simply because, like the second that Trencher leaves and that Harvester leaves, you can banish the Trencher, especially summon the Harvester back, and usually it's really just the best opening that I could find, because if you Machine Dupe the Trencher and then you get 2 more Trenchers on board, and you get rank 5 plays, and you can use the Harvester for a Link summon. So it's just really, really cool. Nextly, we do have the Triple Machine Dupe. I talked about it multiple times. You play multiple monsters with 500 or less attack, so just Machine Dupe those bad boys. Don't mind that this one's a common right here. Let's actually just hide that one. But you do play Triple Machine Dupe, and then double Railroad Switchyard for searching your level 10 train monsters. It used to be good for, like, I used to play 3 of them, but I decided to cut down to 2 because I think 2 is just better. I hate the fact you have to discard a card to use its effect. Sometimes it's useful, but more often than not, it's very tedious. And like if it gets ashed or something, then you just drop the card for nothing. And unfortunately, it's just not very worth it to play 3 of them. If you can use both effects in the same turn, then I will play 3 of them, because I also used to play 3 in Terraforming. But now I think it's just not that important. And so if you see it, then, yeah, cool. But you don't want to see more than 1 copy, honestly, in a game. Reactionary stuff. Now, this deck is made for going second, which is why I'm playing Chalice. If you can afford impermanences, then just play impermanence. This isn't like the main way, but this is like the space I feel you can dedicate towards hand traps, Called by the Graves, whatever you feel is necessary. Same thing for these 2 right here. Instant Fusion is more because you're playing the Parapsychoroid, but you can honestly take Instant Fusion out, especially because I'm only running one, because I don't want to run into it. And I don't want to see it all the time, but it's like sometimes just something that Parapsychoroid could be nice. And Monster Reborn, I honestly started to hate Monster Reborn because it just doesn't feel as useful as it once did. If Soul Charge was still around, I would definitely be playing that instead of Monster Reborn. And lastly, your 2 searchable cards off of your infiniTRACK Crab Crane and your Drag Shovel. You don't need to play Spin Turn. You can take Spin Turn out easily. As I said before, I like it just because I go first with it. And so Outrigger Extension. I honestly don't use its effect too often, but I just want to keep it there because in case I do, I have cards that can search it. I have cards that can like benefit off of it. So having like big machine type monsters that can't be targeted by card effects is just a little helpful. So yeah, we're just playing these just in case. Trains. Trains, you just play 1 Leap, 1 Dora, 1 Gustav Max. Dora is when you're going first. Gustav Max is when you're going second, inflict or protect. And then during your next turn, or the same turn, you OTK them, or during your next turn, you OTK them. That's really how it goes half the time. So your whole goal is just to sit, like if you have the access to make a train, then you sit on a train until you can make the bigger train, and then you OTK. That's what the deck does. The infiniTRACK monsters, River Stormer, Earth Slicer, and Mountain Smasher. River Stormer, if this deck had the space to play multiples, I would, but unfortunately, this deck is too combo heavy, and usually you only really need 1 or 2 turns. Usually the game is decided with this deck in like 1 or 2 turns. Either you beat them or they beat you. Mountain Smasher, you don't make Mountain Smasher normally. You always summon Mountain Smasher off of the Outrigger extension. And so he's just there in case you feel like you need to make a bigger body, or in case you bring River Stormer back by its own effect, and you just want to like attack or like have extra damage on board that turn. You can always just make that Outrigger extension, and then boom. Earth Slicer is because you have access to rank 9s. Now, if you're going first, you have the potential to make a true King of all calamities, but unfortunately, not only is the extra deck space in this deck tight, but because of Cyberjack and Naster, if you do use his effect to like use him, then the summon Harvester, right? The turn that you use Naster's effect, you can only summon machine type monsters, which is why I want to have a focus on machine types, because I don't want to go second and then not have access to like Earth Slicer because I'm playing True King of all calamities. This deck is more attacking focused, so I feel like Earth Slicer would just be the better card. And you can definitely play him if you're not focusing too much on playing Naster, but I am, so I just took him out. But you could definitely take out, like, if you took out Instant Fusion, then I would say, yeah, then you could play True King of all calamities. You also don't need Mountain Smasher too much as well, so if you don't feel like playing Mountain Smasher, then you can also play True King of all calamities. But you don't make rank 9s that often, so I feel like it's not always worth it to go into it. And lastly, you're Goliath, because Goliath is cool. Goliath does actually work pretty well with the deck, because you make him a rank 1, and then, like, let's say, like, you know how you have 2 extra monster zones, you summon Goliath in this zone so that he's next to that zone that's like right next to the graveyard, and then later on in your turn you go into the Underlink monsters, which you play these 2, right? And then you summon them in the Underlink zone, and so you have 2 extra arrows on board rather than just having 1. Nova Infinity, be wary with Nova that Nova can detach to special summon Naster or Cyber Dragon from graveyard. So if you have one of these just sitting in your graveyard and you summon out Nova before you go into Infinity, just know you can bring one of these 2 bad boys back. And if you didn't use Naster's effect that turn, I would definitely suggest doing that before going into Infinity. Chimera attacks, you steal your opponent's machine type monsters or steal your opponent's extra deck monster in the extra monster zone. Chimera attacks are level 10, so you can also use them for rank 10 plays. But ultimately, these 2 are just here just because you're playing Cyber Dragons. If you don't feel like playing regular Cyber Dragons, then you can definitely take these two out. But imagine TCG against something like Orcus, where all you have to do is just special summon Cyber Dragon, then that's it. You just scoop up their whole board and then summon out a free TCG Fortress Dragon, you know? Parasacroid for the instant fusion. Gear Gigant because, you know, you have access to rank 4. He can search your Cyber Dragon Nashter. Now, you can play Cyber Emergency as well. If you feel like Gear Gigant isn't worth going into, you can also play triple Cyber Emergency. But again, I'm too broke for that. And so lastly, your two Link monsters are Cleave 4 Genius and Platinum Gadget. I've never really used Cleave 4 Genius. You can honestly take him out and this deck would be no different. The only reason why I play him is because of the Super Express Bullet Train. If you have Platinum Gadget on board, he's not a freaking Earth type, so he can conflict with the Super Express Bullet Train, but Genius doesn't. So if you're ever in that situation, then Genius would be the one worth going into. If his effect was a quick effect, the one that could negate, then he will be a card worth playing. But I think honestly, you can cut him out, and your deck would feel no different. Platinum Gadget, you definitely need to play him. I could even say you could play 2 of him because of his effect to like special summon monsters from your hand to zones that he points to. What you do is you always try to get both, or you always try to resolve both the Flying Stampede and the Anchor Drill in the same turn. So if you already use Anchor Drill, then you try to special summon a Stampede from your hand using Platinum Gadget, or if you already use Stampede, then you try to get a Anchor Drill from your hand. So Platinum Gadget's a really cool card. Definitely love it. And definitely a nice way to end this deck profile. Lastly is a Glow Up Bulb and Cyber Dragon Core. So if you want to go full Cyber Dragon, then you play Cyber Dragon Core and you play Cyber Emergency so that you can search your Cyber Dragon Nashters really easy. And Glow Up Bulb, you can play it because if you ever feel like going into a Naturia Beast, then Glow Up Bulb is always a good option. If you feel like playing triple Switchyard, then you can also play a Night Express Knight. And so the reason why that works so well is because if you normal summon Night Express Knight while you have Switchyard, if you didn't use Switchyard's effect already, then you special summon level 4 Earth Machine from your deck, and then you pretty much make it a level 10. And so then that's like a free rank 10 play. So that's if you really want to focus on trains. But I used to play it, and then I eventually took it out because I feel like it just didn't do enough. It bricked more often than it helped. Yeah, that's really all for now. infiniTRACK train deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is your boy Nistro of the Yu-Gi-Verse here. Hope you guys enjoyed. infiniTRACK trains. That's it. See ya.